Michael Krawitz, Al Byrne, Veterans for Medical Cannabis Access. We just met today with the senior staff for the Virginia Department of Veterans Affairs. We were supposed to meet with Commissioner Galante, but he was indisposed, and they sent a couple of staff people to meet in his stead. And we had a cordial meeting. Felt a little bit, I told the one representative that it felt a little bit like some of the early meetings I had with the VA representatives back in the day when they weren't allowed to talk about marijuana yet. They've got a long ways to go. They're not quite sure what we want from them. They don't understand what we're talking about. But we made it clear that what we want for them to do is own up to their responsibility to veterans and stand up for veterans and do their homework. And I asked specifically for them to try to digest this material and see if they can't somehow put it to use in the future, serving veterans in Virginia. 80-some thousand veterans, I think she said, that they serve in Virginia.
800,000.
800,000 some vets they serve in Virginia. That's a significant population. And we're there to tell them that there is a lot of suffering going on and even some death that occurs because of the lack of access to this plant medicine. And that's just unacceptable. And we need them to step up, have the courage to take the first step to change these policies. And the governor's got a role to play, and they represent the governor in this meeting today. We asked for a meeting with the governor, and instead we were given the Virginia Department of Veterans Affairs to meet with. So they're given the task now to bring our message back to the governor, and we're going to see if the governor will work with us and try to help craft legislation that is useful. We already have a medical marijuana law in Virginia, but since everyone's afraid to use it and it only covers cancer and glaucoma, it really doesn't do much of anything for us. So we need them to stand up and help us come up with legislation that makes cannabis as a medicine a reality for patients that need it and that the doctors will recommend it to. And then we'll be getting somewhere. So this is the first of many meetings. They suggested that we meet with the Attorney General's staff next, and I'm going to take them up on that. We're going to ask for a meeting with the Attorney General next, and we're going to give them a little executive summary as they asked for, so that they can have a couple of bullet points that they can bring to the governor, and we'll see where we go next. I think Al might have a couple of points that he wants to make, and some. I didn't really talk much about our impression of the meeting and the individuals we met with. Maybe Al would weigh in on that.
Well, I found it interesting, of course, that one of the questions I asked the two individuals, a lady and a man, they were very, very nice, and very open to us, and they listened very politely and they asked good questions. But one of the questions I asked them was if either one of them had ever heard of the endocannabinoid system, and neither had ever heard the word. And I think that's sort of indicative of the problem that Mike and I are running into. I told them that I was sitting there, and with all due respect, our knowledge was about 30 years ahead of theirs. And they smiled, and they probably thought that was true after they heard us speak. But again, we're dealing from a level of understanding on the medical cannabis issue that is marginal to non-existent at the state level, and probably the same at the feds. The one thing I tried to make clear to the two folks that were representing the governor was that this was a choice for the governor of Virginia. I would say that it's a governor's choice in any of the 34 states that don't have legal cannabis for medical reasons. And that choice is for our governor, who's an Army veteran, is that he's got to decide as the governor in this issue whether he's going to be a lawyer, which is his training, or he's going to be a veteran, which should be his soul. He's going to have to make a choice here. Mike and I and others like us are asking him to make a choice. Stand up, be a leader, lead for veterans in Virginia, set an example that's right and ethical, change a bad, illogical, unethical, even immoral law, change it for veterans, and you will become a leader among leaders. Or stay a lawyer, say the law is the law and I can't do anything about it. It's his choice. We're going to find out where he stands in a very public way. We're going to find it very soon. We are right now about a week away from Veterans Day. And as Mike has said, we will continue to investigate with the state of Virginia and their functionaries on how they're going to help, if any, correct mistreatment, unethical treatment caused by a lousy 30-year-old Virginia law.